Welcome to the Seventh Dispensation Podcast. Today we're going to be reading a divine revelation called Alpha Quam, and the chapter that we are reading is called The Science of Motion. And the book says this. It says, God is vibrating at the highest frequency of life, which is refined energy. To be refined is to be free of all impurities, which allows us to evolve into the mind of God. Now, if you don't know what an impurity is, an impurity is something like drugs, alcohol. Impurity can be illicit behavior, criminal thinking, mental impairment. Those could be impurities. So, according to this book, A Divine Revelation from God, the Alpha Quam, it teaches that the God is vibrating at the highest frequency of life, which is refined energy. And to be refined is to be free of all impurities, which allows us to evolve into the mind of God. Now, let me comment on that one more time. Because if we don't free our mind from the impurities, right, then we can't begin to think right. We can't begin to act right. We will continue to be misled by the devils and their false religions and their false way of life that is against nature and against the natural processes of life. Now let's get back into this book. This is a message for the universe and for all of the chosen ones. Now the book says this: we must live pure lives by submitting to the nature of self and the natural processes of life, which allows us to produce gods instead of devils. God is almost non-existent in this society because we have deprived our children of a divine life. Now listen, don't you know that when you have sexual intercourse with a woman, if you're a man, or with a man, if you're a woman, and if one of y'all or both of y'all are on drugs or alcohol, don't you know that that gets into your blood? And do you know that semen is blood? So when you have sex and you under those mind-altering substances and you produce a baby, do you know that you deprive your baby of a divine life because that baby is going to be born with a mental imbalance? This is why the children today are so messed up. They're so emotional, they're so deranged, because they got a mental imbalance. And it comes from the mother and the father who were on drugs or alcohol during the reproduction process. You deprived your child of a divine life. And now you're upset with the child, you beating the child because the child just can't do right. You never look at yourself and say that it's all your fault why your child is like that. You created this child under a mind-altering substance. And now you want to beat them and punish them for something that you did. All right, let's get back into this book. God is almost non-existent in this society because we have deprived our children of a divine life. We must be refined in order to manifest God in our lives, or else Satan takes over and we die. Because God and Satan cannot coexist. You gotta use the colored bathroom. You gotta go to a colored restaurant. We don't serve colors here. See, that's not being able to coexist. God and the devil cannot coexist. You go jogging. Remember Ahmaud Arbery went jogging? And they saw him in their neighborhood. They followed him and shot him. See? And a lot of y'all know, like you go in certain areas, the police follow you. Neighborhood watch follow you. Can't coexist. The only ones who we can coexist with are the ones who live in our neighborhoods. But you can't go to theirs. If they in our neighborhood, we can coexist. We can grow up with them. We could date them. We could play with them and get high with them, get drunk with them. But if you go to their neighborhood, you're not going to coexist. And according to this book, A Divine Revelation from God, it says, we must be refined in order to manifest God in our lives, or else Satan takes over and we die. Because God and Satan cannot coexist. See, if you're not acting like them, then you can't coexist with them. You understand what I'm saying? If you are not out here murdering your own people, if you are not out here helping them capture your own people and put them in jail and prison, if you are not out here using drugs or using alcohol, you can't coexist with them. Go and try to be a righteous person and do the right thing, right? And see what happens. Go and try to be a productive citizen and see what happens. You can't coexist unless you are doing evil with them against your own people. That's the only way they're going to accept you. If you're not helping them destroy your own people, they will never accept you. Never. And we see it every day. Every day. We must bring God out of this void state.